I am Buzz Lightyear, and I come in peace. And there seems to be no sign of intelligent life anywhere. Well, I'm just kidding. I am in the movie theater. I'm about to see this sort of pseudo origin story. Now, if I were to take myself back a couple of years to when Disney had their big, massive presentation where they announced a bunch new stuff that, for the most part, has already come out. Mostly, they announced the Bad Batch in their Disney presentation thing. They announced the Ahsoka series. They announced a bunch of other Star Wars stuff that we're not going to mention at the moment because it kind of fell through. But they announced Turning Red, which I loved. I loved when they announced it, and I loved the movie itself. They also announced a bunch of the MCU movies. And then they announced this thing, which easily was my favorite part of the whole presentation and was the thing that I was really looking forward to, and I can't believe it's finally here. Buzz Lightyear is a character I grew up with the Toy Story movies. I loved the first Toy Story movie. I love the second movie, not as much as I love the first one, but still very, very good, and I love Buzz's involvement in it. And Toy Story 3 might be my favorite of the three. I don't know, it keeps alternating between the first and the third one, but I absolutely adored these movies. The fourth one was good. I mean, wasn't as good as the other three, but one thing that really irked me about that movie is Buzz's involvement in that movie, or lack thereof. Catch my meaning? Yeah, he pretty much was relegated back to being the stupid idiot that he was for the majority of the first movie. Just very literal, not taking things at face value. It was very drag to the story type character. And maybe if I watch the movie again, it'll change. I haven't gone back and revisited that movie. So yeah, I love what they did with Woody in Toy Story 4. Don't get me wrong, and I love what they did with Bo Peep. And I even love the villainous Gabby, and I love Duke Kaboom in that movie. But Buzz really just irks me, especially after what they did with him in Toy Story 3, which I found was hilarious and very much fitting of the Toy Story franchise. So now they made a whole movie about the guy that inspired the toys, and it's played by Chris Evans, Captain America himself. Who would have figured? So I'm gonna go watch it, and hopefully I like it. So, to infinity and beyond. Buzz Lightyear mission log, stardate 2022. Buzz Lightyear, or rather just Lightyear, the movie. It's a really good movie. I liked it. It's a fun animated movie about the original Buzz Lightyear. And here's something that I like, is that it doesn't feel completely detached from the Toy Story movies we grew up with, or at least I did. But it is not a great movie, as far as I can tell. It's still really, really good and really well done. I had a lot of fun. I was smiling, grinning ear to ear watching it. Felt like a little kid again watching, Buzz Lightyear be Buzz Lightyear. It doesn't have that Pixar magic touch that, it is not the original Toy Story movies, 1, 2, 3 that is. It doesn't have that Monsters Inc. type quality. It is definitely not Finding Nemo. It doesn't have the flair and the majesty, I would say, of the first 10 Pixar movies. It's not, and even beyond that, it's not Inside Out. It certainly isn't Coco, but it's good. And you know what? For Pixar, even what someone would say lackluster movie is still 10 times better than 100 movies made a year. And that's really the highest form of praise I can give to the Pixar studios. They just make movies that are so unbelievably great that a movie like Lightyear doesn't quite hold up to the other Pixar movies, but it's still really, really good, and it's really a lot of fun. Chris Evans nails the character of Buzz Lightyear, and hold on. This character right here, Socks, when I saw him in the trailers, I honestly thought it was going to get old pretty quick. I thought it was going to just be really annoying, and I didn't think I was going to like him. He's my favorite character in the movie now. And you know what? I want one. I want my very own Socks. He's just... I can't remember the name of the actor. He's like... I looked him up. It's a very obscure actor. He mostly did directing works on not Star Wars movies, on Pixar movies. But he did a couple of voice roles. So it was really just a shock out of left field what he did in this movie. He's amazing. He's funny. And he actually, in as much of a way that you, the audience, don't get tired of him really quick, the characters in the movie seem to like him even more. And yeah, so Socks is the best part of the movie. Another really thing I really liked about this movie, the supporting cast. First of all, I gotta talk about this. There's no other way to talk about it without spoiling too much, but it's not really that much of a spoiler. Taika Waititi's in this movie, and he's incredible. I love seeing Taika everywhere, even if it's just a voice role. I love him as Korg. I love What We Do in the Shadows. I loved his Hunt for the Wilder People. I love him in Free Guy. I just love this guy in everything I've seen. Even the Green Lantern movie. He actually made that movie slightly watchable just by being in it, and he's in this movie, and he's amazing. I love him. The other supporting cast, I can't remember the name, but there's a character called Easy and a character called Darcy. I can't remember, but yeah, they're really good too. But Taika is definitely the standout, as he usually tends to be. As far as the villain Zurg, I mean, obviously, if you know anything about Buzz Lightyear, yeah, it's not that big of a spoiler that Zurg might show up in this movie. He was a Darth Vader level of menacing. They did something interesting. Speaking of Darth Vader, they did something really interesting with his character, and I'm not spoiling anything away, but obviously if you've seen Toy Story 2, there is that iconic moment when he goes, when he tries to get Buzz to surrender or something like that, but the other Buzz Lightyear was like, "Never, you killed my father," and he says to him, "No, Buzz, I am your father." They did something interesting with that character of Zurg in this movie. It is definitely a plot twist, something I did not see coming. Not, at the moment, not a fan. I'll say this, at the moment. Maybe upon repeat viewing, I will grow to like it. But it slightly threw the movie off for me, personally. But the rest of the movie is great, and there's great character arcs in the movie, which Pixar does great. Speaking of other things that Pixar does great, is you know that moment of every Pixar movie that just has a moment that just has an emotional gut punch that, in true Pixar fashion, just to paraphrase an Indiana Jones film, just rips your heart out of your chest and shows it to you while crushing it. There is a moment like that in this movie. Unfortunately, minor spoiler, it's incredibly brief and it gets brushed aside really quickly, so it doesn't have a staying power. It doesn't have, again, the Remember Me moment from Coco. It doesn't have the sacrifice of Bing Bong. It doesn't have the incinerator moment or the so long partner. It is a good moment, but like I said, really, really short, and it's so short that almost it feels like an afterthought, which brings the mood down. But like I said, rest of the movie, near perfection. It's still a Pixar movie. It still has that level of quality. I would definitely say that I prefer Turning Red to this movie, but it's still 8 out of 10 movie. Now, I don't really give scores to movies, but that's just a scoring I'd give it off the top of my head. But like I said, loved Chris Evans in the movie, loved Socks. Taika is amazing. The other supporting cast is really good, and the relationship that Buzz has with a certain character and a certain character's offspring, to putting it lightly, is really, really engaging. And oh my goodness, the references to other sci-fi movies is just, people can have an entire list of about 100 and they still miss a couple of stuff. I definitely, well, obviously you'll notice some references to Star Wars because it's owned by Disney now. There's some references to 2001: A Space Odyssey, Doctor Who at times, Star Trek obviously. I even picked up on a slight subtle reference to Planet of the Apes, and it's such an obscure reference, but I noticed it anyway. So yeah, loved most of this movie, but the Zurg character I'm still not 100% sure on, and it doesn't have that emotional gut punch, and it just doesn't have the magical feeling that I normally get from watching a Pixar movie. But that's just me. Maybe it'll speak to other people better. In any case, it's still a really good, fun time with the movies. And something that's really important to point out, this movie's got 3 post-credit scenes. And I'm not even making this up. 3. I counted them. I actually stayed in the theater for longer than I should have to watch the post-credit. There are 3 post-credit scenes in the movie. And yeah. It goes the Marvel route of having a comedic post-credit scene and one that's potentially setting up a sequel, and the one that's potentially setting up a sequel is at the very end. So make sure to stick around for all 3 of these post-credit scenes and don't leave the theater until you do. In any case, this is my review on Buzz Lightyear, quick out of the theater review, and yeah, that's my thoughts on it. Let me know what you all thought about this movie, and let me know if you appreciated me talking about this movie. So until the next movie, which I'm assuming might be Thor: Love and Thunder. Yeah, there's a poster right there, but there's a column hiding it. Yeah, I can't even see it. Never mind. So yeah, until the next time, everybody, to infinity and beyond. Hi there. Thank you for watching the video. And if you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and tell your friends. I'll see you next time.